Hello and welcome to Oweleketv. I am Ramsey Enoch. The news headlines. Peter Obi donates 5 million naira to Kaduna bombing survivors. 104 million Nigerians plunge below poverty line following economic reforms, says World Bank. And on the foreign scene, Republicans launch impeachment probe linked to Biden-Hunter dealings. And in sport, Mikel Obi criticizes Chelsea's lack of leadership and questions rebuilding process.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleket.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back. Now the news in details. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party LP in the 2023 election, has donated 5 million naira to the injured survivors of the Tudunbiri drone attack in Kaduna State. Obi visited the victims undergoing treatment at Barau Diko Teaching Hospital, Kaduna, expressing his condolences to the affected community. He prayed for the deceased and wished the injured speedy recovery and commended the Kaduna State government for their support. Obi also emphasized the need for extra caution in security operations to prevent future occurrences, while urging national priorities to be focused on development and benefiting Nigerians. It is now 8 years that an infamous massacre occurred in the famous city of Zaria, Kaduna State on Saturday, 12th December 2015, when a contingent of the Nigerian security forces, notably the army, was deployed to carry out what appeared to be a clear conscience-free issue that was also planned to happen as assault on the revered leader of the Islamic movement, Sheikh Ibrahim Yaqub el-Zazaki and his followers. The followers and victims' family have taken to the street of Abuja, calling the prosecution of the former President Buhari and his allies. Deacon Michael has the report.
The Zaria massacre, also known as Buhari massacre, was a massacre carried out by the Nigerian army in Zaria, Kaduna State, Nigeria, on Saturday, 12 December 2015, against Shia Muslims, mostly members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria. At least 1,000 civilians were killed, with 347 bodies secretly buried by the army in a mass grave. The army claimed that it had responded to an attempt to assassinate Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Tukur Buratai, by the Islamic movement in Nigeria. This claim has been strongly rejected by the Islamic movement and several human rights organizations who argue that the massacre occurred without any provocation and that all the protesters were unharmed. The incident is considered among the notable human rights violations since the return to democracy in Nigeria. And in commemoration of the massacre, the protesters took to the streets of Abuja, reiterating their call for justice to the victims of the massacre.
Buhari sent his government, the leader of the Islamic movement, Sheikh Ibrahim Al-Zakzaki, where they killed almost 1,000 plus of people. We are remembering this at 8 years anniversary of what happened here in 2015. So what we are doing here is we are telling people that they have cheated us, they have killed almost 1,000 people in the members of the Islamic movement, and they shoot our leader Sheikh Ibrahim Al-Zakzaki more than several places on his body. They shoot him on his hand, they shoot him on his leg, they shoot his wife, they kill 3 of his children. After 2014, they killed 3 of his children, that is Said Ahmad, Hamid and Mahmoud. 2015, they killed still 3 of his children, Said Ali Haider, Said Hamad, Said Humaid. That's what makes us we are here in Wuse. Now we are processing and remembering what happened in 2015.
The frown at Buhari and Nasser El-Rufai-led administrations for unjustifiable injustice meted on their leader and followers during Buhari-led regime. The movement echoed that the tyranny and injustice never flourishes and that there is always a day of reckoning. They further reiterated their call for justice and that the masterminds and executors of the Zaria massacre be brought to account. Edikan Michael reporting.
Following the drone attack by the Nigerian army in the Tudunbiri community, Igabi local government area of Kaduna State, survivors have filed a suit in the Federal High Court, Kaduna, represented by Malam Salifu and the lawyer Mukhtar Usman. The survivors are seeking compensation of 33 billion naira in an apology published in 3 national newspapers. The suit claims that the aerial bombardment during an Islamic Maulud celebration violated the victims' fundamental rights to life under the Nigerian Constitution and African Charter on Human People's Rights. While no hearing date has been set, the government has promised to investigate and transform the affected community into a modern city. And condolences from dignitaries across Nigeria continue to pour in for the over 100 peasants who lost their lives during the incident. As festive season approaches, Enugu State Police Command's Public Relations Officer Daniel Ndukwe has urged Nigerians to carefully plan their travels expenses, emphasizing caution. He discouraged night travels, advised using reputable transportation companies, urging travelers to register on manifest, while private vehicle owners were reminded to ensure proper vehicle maintenance. Ndukwe advised against unfamiliar routes, suggesting obtaining security travel advisories. He also cautioned against overspeeding and urged celebrating modestly. Additionally, he emphasized securing homes before traveling, providing emergency contact details, and reiterating the importance of meticulous planning for a safe and enjoyable Yuletide. Let's go on a short break. We will be right back.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleket.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back. The turmoil in Rivers State intensified as the state government decided to demolish the state legislative chamber, comprising about 6 buildings, including the main chamber. The assembly complex was built during the administration of Dr. Peter Odili. The demolition justified by the State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Joseph Johnson, citing unsafety due to recent explosion and fire incidents. As chamber was being demolished, 4 lawmakers loyal to the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, conducted a plenary at the Government House, Port Harcourt. Earlier, 27 members elected on the People Democratic Party (PDP) platform had defected to the APC, causing the political tension. Despite the course, the governor presented the state's 2024 budget of the Ehi-led legislature. The budget of 800 billion naira focuses on renewed hope, consolidation, and continuity, allocating 51% to capital expenditure and 49% to recurrent expenditure. The governor assured careful economic development and infrastructure provision. Meanwhile, the demolition sparked criticism for the APC and dissenting lawmakers accusing the governor of reducing governance to nothing and calling for a panel of inquiry into the assembly bombing. The Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, that is LASEPA, held a meeting with religious leaders to address the ongoing menace of noise pollution from worship centers, following a prior engagement with nightclub and bar owners. The agency is focused on curtailing different forms of pollution across Lagos. The general manager of LASEPA, Babatunde Ajayi, emphasized the importance of managing pollution and encourage stakeholders to find common ground that respect everyone's comfort. With over 2,500 reports of noise pollution this year, half of which involve religious organizations, the agency aimed to address this concern and promote peaceful coexistence. Religious leaders in attendance appreciated the platform and committed to adhering to LASEPA's regulatory framework on air pollution. The House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee has summoned Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, and the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi. The summon is to explain their role in the delay of several power projects across the country. The committee, led by Bamidele Salam, planned to investigate the disbursement of loans and access to funds by contractors, as well as the repayment pattern for loans that distribution companies receive from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Contractors blame the federal government and financial institutions for difficulties in accessing funds for the projects. The committee also planned to invite bank institution CEOs and accounting officers involved in the matter for clarification. A World Bank Development Update report reveals that more than 104 million Nigerians have fallen below the poverty line in the wake of President Bola Tinubu's economic reforms. The report highlights the impact of fuel subsidy removal and foreign exchange rate unification, attributing this policy to intense cost of living pressure. While the World Bank acknowledges the federal government's bold reform as necessary to avert a fiscal crisis, it considered the current hardship to temporary. The report calls for transparency from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, that is NNPCL, in disclosing its financial statement and revenue inflows. The petrol subsidy removal announced on May 29 is projected to result in fiscal saving of around 2 trillion naira in 2023 and over 11 trillion naira between 2023 and 2025. The World Bank urges coordinated and monetary policy actions to improve Nigeria's economic outlook. Up next are stories on the foreign scene after the break.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleket.tv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back. Now from the foreign scene. In a strictly divided vote of 221 to 212 along party lines, the United States House of Representatives initiates an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Republicans, capitalizing on Hunter Biden's controversial international dealing, lack evidence of presidential corruption despite unlikely conviction. Prospects in the Democratic-led Senate, Republicans secure a platform to attack Biden ahead of the 2024 election. The move is criticized by Biden as a baseless stunt to make him divert from pressing issues. Experts and Democrats and even some Republicans argue the lack of evidence, claiming the inquiry is purely political. Hunter Biden, center of controversy, denies wrongdoing, and the White House emphasizes malfeasance. The constitutional impeachment process unfolds amid allegation and political theater, while the nation watches the political drama unfold. In entertainment, Nigerian entertainer Naira Marley has initiated legal proceeding against actress Iyabo Ojo, accusing her of disseminating false defamatory content on her Instagram account. In a letter from Naira Marley's lawyer, Olatunji Ojo, allegations were made regarding a September 2023 post where Ojo accused Naira Marley of involvement in spiritual and physical dealing with the late singer Mohbad, causing mental harm. Naira Marley's counsel is seeking 500 million naira in damage and a public apology to be posted on Ojo's Instagram account and published in a national daily. Failure to comply may result in a lawsuit against Ojo. And in sport, former Super Eagles midfielder Mikel Obi has criticized Chelsea's current lack of leadership and questioned the continued rebuilding process under manager Mauricio Pochettino. Mikel emphasized the need for Chelsea to start winning games and pointed out the absence of leaders on the pitch. He compared the current team to the era of players like Didier Drogba, John Terry, and Frank Lampard, who would push teammates to perform better. Mikel also criticized left-back Mark, stating that he is not a Chelsea standard. Mark joined Chelsea from Brighton last summer. And just before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. Peter Obi donates 5 million naira to Kaduna bombing survivors. 104 million Nigerians plunge below poverty line following economic reforms, says World Bank. And on the foreign scene, Republicans launch impeachment probe linked to Biden-Hunter's dealing. And in sports, Mikel Obi criticizes Chelsea's lack of leadership and questions rebuilding process. And that's the package on our news bulletin. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms at Oweleketv and website at oweleketv.tv. I am Ramsey Enoch. Thank you for watching.